Hello, everyone, and welcome to Auto Asphyxiation. This is Lark.
And Kimberly.
That's right. See, I can say it again because I hadn't just been saying it for a while, so now I can say that's right again because it's kind of like the tagline. Anyway, you know what, Kimberly? I'm actually sad right now
Why are you sad?
because you know what? With the remember we did a show on the Greenway.
Yes.
I decided to
I
have
think we did two shows on the Greenway.
I had a truce and I was like, I felt like Tyra Banks. Like, and now I'm like this. Remember the Tyra Banks show, like America's Top Model? And she was like, got mad at the model and she's like, we were rooting for you, girl. We were all rooting for you.
Yes.
Well, that's how I'm feeling with the Greenway. Like, I had faith. I suspended belief and have faith in them. Anyway, let me just kind of like go back into like the issue, like over, a lot of organizations, especially in like bike cycling and urbanism, have embraced, DEI, Jedi, which I always thought was kind of weird. Jedi. Justice, equity,
That always
diversity,
catches my eye.
and inclusion. I'm always kind of like, what in the Star Wars hell is that? Now, like all these organizations are like just not doing that, not doing that. And I'm gonna tell you something. This isn't even about DEI and the fact that it was like neoliberal elite capture communication strategy. Okay, I'm not even talking about that. The question is, did these organizations were they ever engaged in any kind of a good faith argument? And from that, we're going to jump to the Greenway. Because remember, I had written an essay about the US DOT removing bicycles and things from their website.
Yes. We had a conversation about that as well.
And so then I'm like, people are moving things from websites. Let me go the Greenway and see if they have removed anything from their website. And I wasn't even trying. I wanted to believe you guys. I wanted to. And, the thing is that their prior strategic plan had all kinds of stuff about DEI. Like, we're DEI, we're Jedi, we're whatever. They even hired this they hired this consulting firm called Mission Partners, and they all developed all this stuff about DEI, had all these black people. They essentially, like every bike organization, their whole Greenway team was always like African American or like Chicano or like Mexican American. They're kind of like, because we're going to help the marginalized people go to work via the Greenway. Now, as you know, Kimberly, always like, that's insane. Okay. Like, that is literally like, how can you say this? And they're just like insistent. They would get mad. People would get salty with me, like, Lark, why are you such an asshole? Why are you saying that we're fake and we're phony and like we don't care about like DI and GI and LM A B C D E F G H H K L M N O P? Why are you saying we don't care?
Because we can smell a poser a mile away.
Yeah, so then I went to the Greenway East Coast Greenway site, and I went to the little search bar and I put DI in, and nothing came up, which was shocking because essentially, like, a lot of my shit talking about the Greenway was, this is for roadies for fun, for them to have fun on a park, and they're taking away stuff from like urban cycling and all whatever. They're like, no, no, stop looking at it as a zero-sum game. We can have both. This is for people who are poor, like you. poor, poor black people like you. Black people need to ride bikes because they have diabetes. High blood pressure. We care about the colored people. This is why we're building this lane. And Kimberly's like, I can't even make this joke. I'm not even laughing here. Okay, anyway, okay, look. I
Is
want
it?
to be
It's
serious. I want to
through
be
a
serious.
swamp. It's through a swamp. That's just, I'm just like, much of North Jersey is swampland, and the Greenway goes through a lot of swampland. And you know
I
what's
have
in swampland is bugs, Lyme disease carrying ticks, whatever this alpha gal syndrome tick is that gives you an allergy to meat.
how can
Um,
you eat pizza if you can't eat meat? How
the,
does that work?
well, you can just get a plain cheese pizza. Oh, I don't know if it's also a dairy allergy. I don't know. I don't
You
I
have to
have to
eat like
look
that.
into
You have to
that.
eat that Pennsylvania pizza.
No, that Altoona pizza
And it
with
doesn't have meat on it.
The American cheese slices, like the Kraft singles on top.
That's what happens to you if ticks bite you when you ride your bike to the Greenway. You
That's the
have to eat
pizza.
Altoona pizza.
That's the pizza that you're condemned. Also, not just bugs, but wildlife, skunks, raccoons, a bear or two. There's been a lot of bear sightings around Essex County this summer.
How are you getting to work through that thing? What job? Who's commuting from Newark? Because as you know, you might know this, but New Jersey is like super segregated. So the black people live in the quote unquote urban section. So they live in Newark, East Orange, Irvington. Kim's also there. Kimberly's also there. But a lot of black people live in these areas. And so I guess the thing was that they said they were going to use their bikes, like me, the people. We were going to ride our bikes from Newark to the Greenway to get our jobs in Jersey City. I guess that was the reasoning. I don't know how that works, but that's what that was.
And there's no bike path really in a lot of Newark to get to the Greenway.
Why are you being negative, Kimberly? Anyway,
Oh,
so
I'm
anyway,
sorry.
I looked at the new adopted strategic plan for the Greenway, and something I noticed that was very interesting. It said our core values: boldness, collaboration, community, safety, stewardship, and tenacity. And I was like, what happened to DEI? A Jedi. What
I
happened to that? Because I thought that was your whole reasoning. And this is what I was told every time I talked about it. I said, hey, shouldn't we be spending our time so that people can ride their bikes to work? And they're like, the Greenway is a way to ride your bike to work. And I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, the thing is that the High Line, another organization for Black people and other historically excluded people, the High Line, so they also have included equitable frameworks. But I think the thing is interesting about the High Line, they left their stuff on their website. So you could still go to the High Line website and see the DI, like equity, like all this stuff. When I go to the Greenway website, it seems to be gone completely. Um,
I mistrust an organization that goes along with the political winds.
and I think the thing is that, you know, it's not even about the fact that they got rid of the language, which is in itself just bad because it's like DI's branding, which I thought it was initially anyway. I've always said that's what I thought it was, but like, hey, if I was kind of like viewing people as being sincere, I feel that there's a difference between representation, power, and there's a difference between inclusion and redistribution. And I felt that people didn't have power. I felt like marginalized, historically excluded communities that didn't have access to, or as they call it, I hate calling it transit desert. I like calling it transit apartheid. People who are in transit apartheid situations They can't even get to these trails. And also with all these flock cameras and all this stuff, people are being policed. They're being all kinds of interesting things are happening. And it's like,
There's crazy stories about those flock cameras popping up like every single day.
exactly. So it's like, you hire a consultant, and maybe the consulting firm is led, or it hires people from historically excluded or marginalized groups. You host these little listening sessions, you create these diversity statements. Also too, remember we're still waiting for Metro, the congestion pricing people, to get back to us.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been 2 months. They still have not gotten back to us. These listening sessions and, like, outreach. Remember, we got thrown out. We were not allowed to be part of the meeting,
Yeah.
but we
Because
can't find it anyway. But it's like, the same time, like, to me, the Greenway, it seemed like it's still centered, like, wealthy cyclists, recreational cyclists, long distance touring cyclists, and, oh look, this is going to raise property values. And it was really hard for me. I wanted to believe them. I did. Like, didn't we had we've had shows on the Greenway.
yes, and we've had our critiques, but we wanted really to believe in the vision that the Greenway had set forth and have good faith in their commitment to making it commuter accessible.
And the thing I think is really funny, not even funny, but it's like, they never did, to me, do be were concerned with transportation, people who needed, like, who didn't have cars, people who were immigrants, people who are, or who's way people who are immigrants who did not have money, people who are service workers. Elon Musk is an immigrant. Service workers, young people without cars. It's like, you know who is controlling the resources, who's controlling the land, who's controlling mobility, who's controlling the narrative. And the thing is, this is it. They wanted to shut us down in regards to our critiques. Like, we essentially were persona non grata. They even went so far as, when we went to the Greenway in opening, that they retook the picture without us in the picture because they were like, you guys aren't, like, just a cult member. You're not going to be like, oh, because we had some critiques about the Greenway, and the fact that they kept saying was DEI. And so I thought it was interesting that, even though we were like, hey, we're willing to listen, we're doing critiques, we're asking questions, and we were not, the fact that we asked questions was so insulting to them, that they literally, when we went to an opening of the Greenway in an Essex County city, which I will remain nameless, they literally cut us out of the photo and then retook the photo without us in it, because they're like, oh, they're naysayers. We don't want to include them. I mean, it sounds kind of personal. It's not even personal. It's just the fact that you did all of this.
And that was the answer that they kept giving us was, no, this is for the working class. This is for racialized people. Well, they don't really use that term, but
Yeah,
this is for DEI. This is for, like that was the answer that they gave us when we asked questions. And then they remove all of that from their website.
so it's almost like what we were saying was right. Because you literally proved what we were saying by and the thing is, this is that, I'm going to talk about this. We talk about two cyclists, one that travels 80 miles on a weekend, 100 miles on a weekend, owns multiple bicycles, posts race metrics online, part of Strava. And then we have people who are biking to work, like me, the only person in Essex who talks about this, who actually rides a bike to work. But we have other people who bike to work, bike to school, go to the grocery store. They can't afford a second vehicle. They don't even have a vehicle. And both, and everybody's like, oh, well, they both matter. That's right. So why are you always focused on the first group? The group that travels 80 miles on the weekend? Because essentially all of our social capital right now is spent on this Greenway when we still cannot bicycle to work in Essex County. And our the reason I'm kind of bringing this up is because New Jersey's the head of the leading state agency in New Jersey for bicycling is centered or headquartered in Essex. So this is why I'm bringing this up.
That's a poor showing in your home county and like the
You can't
seat
even
of
get.
where your head is. Like that's like I would love to bicycle to work. My work is only 3 miles away. But like, if I get a Lyft ride to work and it takes the fastest route, that's obviously the way that you would take if you were on a bicycle as well, commuting to work. There's no bicycle infrastructure whatsoever. And it's like all like narrow alleyways, industrial parks, and things like that. And people do ride their bikes, but I it would scare me.
So what happens when bicycling advocacy becomes a recreational advocacy? So you're essentially they're taking and now they're kind of like they get all salty when I say this, but this is what you are now because they're like, oh, I think the thing that's just so interesting is that people are like kind of like, why are they saying we're DEI? Because you said that. You
Because
said you were DEI.
that was the answer that you gave us.
That's literally what you said. And so now this whole like, but why do they say we're DEI? And I'm like, why are you saying it like you didn't say that in the first place? I don't understand like what the hell. I don't understand what the confusion is about. And I think the thing is about is that it is like, wow, isn't it great to be able to go, oh, DEI is out of fashion now. So now we can't get grants doing that. So now we're going to just take things off the website and we're going to like not talk about it in that way because we don't want to get like defunded. But like for me as a black and Asian woman, to have my complete identity, I can't go, oh, now I'm a white man. You can't go, oh, you know what? I'm a man now. I'm a Methodist man now. Can you, Kimberly? Can you just switch out of your
No,
outfit?
no. I can't just wave a magic wand, no.
And I'm like more than pissed because here is the thing too, Kimberly.
More so I wouldn't want to be a Methodist man, but anyway.
Who want to be, but I think the thing that just pisses me off is this: we have essentially there have been times where I felt like we couldn't get funding because they're like, oh, you are DEI. And the thing that's just so funny to me is that we mock DEI. We're don't even talk about it being a thing. We're always like, we're on the far left. We're like anarchists. We're like socialists. We're like, so we literally are not even a part of that. But that shows you DEI is not even about the language. It is about when people, it's about capturing anybody who is speaking against power. Like, oh, see, we let you be part of us. But now it's like you're not part of us and you we're just not doing it anymore. And and you don't have to even have said that you were part of the whole DEI thing. Anybody who's not a white man is viewed as out of fashion now. And you could go away. And I think the thing is that it's like it's just ironic that people who were like skeptical of neoliberal DEI from the beginning are now kind of like the being, I couldn't even say we're victims because no one ever did give us any money, but the whole point is people are like, oh, how many people, Kimberly, has been like, oh, talking to me like, oh, so you're DEI, and I'm like, but I've never said, I've literally since 20 when it first came out in 2014, I was making fun of it. I
Well,
even
because it's a very corporate term.
It's like saying a thought leader. I would never. It was like saying, "Are you a thought leader? Get the hell away from me.
Go away.
Go away." I would never say that's
Go
so
away.
gross. It's like
Ew.
absolutely not, absolutely not. And I think this is elite capture of you know institutions that they're saying, oh, it's about the commons, it's about serving serving people who are marginalized. Um, and the thing is that it's benefiting people already, people who have foundations, people who have foundations funding, people who are universities. And the Greenway should not merely just be about recreation. They should be about connecting affordable housing, transit, schools, jobs, everyday destinations. But it didn't do that. And the reason why I was trying, and we were both trying to have faith in you. We were rooting for you because we thought, well, maybe you actually are DEI. Maybe you are all the things that we didn't think you were. Maybe you were that. But now you have taken everything off of your website. You took everything off the strategic plan.
Did you
And
think that people wouldn't notice?
think I wouldn't go look? You know I'm
Yeah.
here.
Like,
Like, I've been looking for you. I've been checking you since you came on the scene.
like it's just, and I would like, and to tie into the Greenway into affordable housing, like, why can't that, like, the Greenway and interconnected uh bicycle lanes and things like that be part of a transit oriented village and be part of that bill that is up for a vote in, what is it, the New Jersey State Senate?
Yeah,
Talked about it last week.
it should definitely be part of that. It should definitely be part of, like, how can we, connect this to the transit village? How can we connect this to people, affordable housing? But it's just like, in my own head, I'm like, look, if you can drop that language and, you know, without you said, oh, we're not changing our priorities, we're just dropping the language, then then equity wasn't really a priority, right? I mean,
I,
that
I
it just sounds wild to me.
I inherently mistrust any kind of organization, be it be it a store that I shop at, like Target, like the ongoing boycott is because they dropped DEI and DEI training from their corporation. I inherently mistrust any organization that just kind of blows with the political winds.
Yeah, and this is the whole thing. It's like, I don't, you know what? Again, I want to be really clear with everybody here. I don't, I was never in. I don't care about corporate DI or foundation funded DI. I literally don't care. I didn't like it. I didn't believe you, but I feel like because DI was just a way to, like, to, like, avoid real conversations. It was a way to just be like, oh, okay, see, we're equitable. We brought somebody on that is not a white man, and see, we are for equity. We did a thing. We have a Harriet Tubman trail, whatever. But again, this is not this your trail, your trail from Maine to Florida. You know that the purpose of it, the reason you have it, is so that roadies can ride their bike really fast and really far. That is the point of the Greenway. Why
It's
can't
like
you just admit that? Go ahead.
it's
I'm
like an
sorry.
Appalachian trail for roadies.
Yeah, that is what you're doing. That's what you always were doing. And the thing is that you took social capital, you took work, you took volunteer hours from people who thought you actually cared about working class people, and you didn't. You took people's time. You stole from people. Not only did you steal funding, not only did you steal time, not only did you steal labor, you stole social capital from the bicycling community just so you could bill for roadies. And now you're like, oh, I don't even care about you guys now because I'll say whatever I need to say in order to get funding, in order to get this done. I don't care how it gets done because it's not for you anyway. It's for my rich friends. And this is what pisses me off because we can't even like, oh, I'm supposed to be like I'm like, not necessarily we, but I'm viewed as like this asshole for like pointing out what you're doing. And I actually ride a bike. I'm sorry. Half of these people outside of Manhattan, half of these bike advocates never ride a bicycle. They don't use their bicycle. They ride their bicycle once, twice a freaking month. And then they're like, oh, they do 100, oh, I did the century. But that's not how they get around. And
No,
like,
like if you're gonna like if you are going to really advocate, and it just goes back into that whole thing that a lot of people, a lot of Americans cannot really empathize or see things from another person's point of view unless they're put in that position themselves. These people all have cars. They're not using they don't need to use their bikes for transportation. They've never really been in that position. Maybe when they were in college or whatever, like, so they can't really see it from that point of view. And that's why they only advocate really for recreational biking.
and this is not even like to me, this is about democracy, it's about power. It's not even about like, okay, like, oh, it's about racism. It is about racism, but it's more so it's about power and democracy and about the fact that you stole again. You people with privilege stole from working class again, and it is infuriating that they can just go, oh, well, we're not going to do that anymore. Oh, and I don't even know. I'm barely. I can kind of tell, but I can't. But I feel like there were more Black people on that site. I felt like they specifically removed Black people from the site, and it's just kind of like you guys are a joke. And we're supposed to like just act like that didn't happen. It happened, and I'm not gonna. And I think is that it's I want you guys to all know we reached out to the Greenway. We asked them, hey, what's up? We asked them, what do they have to say about that? Whatever. If they respond to us, we'll put it in the comments. Whatever, we'll add it. But we asked them. We straight up asked. We called. We emailed 2 times. So it's not like, oh, we saw this and then we just didn't do anything about it. We saw. We made a phone call and we emailed 3 people so that we can kind of get, hey, explain to us what happened to your DEI language, what happened to your Jedi language, what happened to that. And I'm like, I'm talking like super loud.
Well, you're rightfully angry, because like we said before, when we ask them questions about how the Greenway really supports working class commuters who need a bicycle to get to work or use a bicycle for delivery driving or what have you, their response was, but we're DEI every single time. And
Exactly.
then they
Yeah.
purposefully remove the language from the website, from their core values to change with the political winds that have shifted right is really dishonest and is just you're just another neoliberal organization that just gets your funding any way that you can without any integrity.
It's disgusting. You're
And that's
disgusting.
why we're poor because we have integrity.
Exactly. It's just a disgusting thing. And I'm disgusted with it. And the thing is that I hope politicians who are on the left, they're looking at this and they're not just going, oh, well, it's bicycling, it's like neutral, whatever. They're not neutral. They're clearly I'm not saying bicycling. I'm saying, roadie hobby culture. Because I bicycle and people who are working class depend on non like non car ways to get to work. So bike lanes, protected bike lanes, public transit, these are all things that are very, very important. But a bike lane, the longest bike lane in the world, no, not so much. That's not really helping us. And we're not being anti anyone. We are not being oh, it's not a zero sum game. If it's not a zero sum game, then why'd you delete us from your website? Why'd you delete working class people from your website? Because that's what it is. DI is really just working class people. Why did you delete working class people? Because DI, the thing is kind of funny is that it ends up including rural people. It
Hmm.
includes racialized people. It includes women. It includes children. It includes everyone but men of privilege. And so the thing is that I always tell people what DEI actually means is working class. So when you take DEI to your website, and it goes across culture, because if you go to DEI grants, a lot of rural white America also gets benefits from DEI. So essentially, what you're essentially saying is you are anti-working class. When you remove DEI from your website, you are anti-working class. So you could replace it with working class, but you're not going to do that because no, that's too whatever. It's not corporate enough. So you do that, and you can kind of go, oh, well, see, that's because we don't want to be connected to the whole identity politics and blah 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 blah. But actually, what DEI was a way to say working class, but without saying it. So when you take that away without replacing any kind of class component, it just shows that you are on the side of the elite. You're on the side of the 1%. You are not for bicycling. You're for hobbies. And so whatever hobby that these rich men want, that's what you're for. And so you made your choice, and you can do better. You know what, you should give that money back. You should give your funding back. That's what I think you should do.
Well, and they just followed suit with the Department of Transportation, like the federal Department of Transportation, and it was in fact the secretary of the Department of Transportation. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he was the one that called bike lanes DEI in like a mocking fashion, like the right wing does, which is essentially like, they're slang words for just black. But they followed suit with the Federal Department of Transportation, which is following suit with the Trump administration.
Exactly. So they're like, oh yeah, Sean Duffy said this, and they're like,
Thank
oh,
you.
we're not DEI. And I thought it was kind of funny because it's kind of like this weird kind of like game, because it's kind of like, oh, so you're not DEI,
Yeah.
but you said that, but you're not. So like this is the whole thing. It's just really interesting to me. Okay, and with that, we're gonna wrap this up. Um, Substack, Spotify, YouTube. That's it, right?
Thanks to everybody who came out to our reading on Sunday, August 9th. It was a really good time.
It was a really good time, and like it was a great event, and people were like, see, we're a varied people. We do art, and we do politics, and we do drinking. No, okay. We
I had a bunch of drinks.
Yeah, people kept buying us drinks. I was like,
Yeah, that was great.
I said, buy us a drink, and they're like, okay. Um, I like didn't know that was gonna work. I was like, I'm gonna keep doing that. Yeah,
Thank you. No, but thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you to everybody who read and everybody who bought us drinks.
yeah, thank you very much. We very much appreciate that. With that, thank you so much.
Bye.